Hi, welcome to A1R Radio, Insights into Consciousness. I'm Anna Olsen, your host for this segment. Today, every Tuesday at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. And today I am going to just talk to you a little bit about some things that have been on my mind that I think may be of value to you. And then I'm going to do a reading on the air later on. So first off, I want to go into why I went into what I do and how I actually think it's a shame that other people haven't, because I have known even people growing up who have had some really significant spiritual gifts and talents, and they went into things that were, you know, it required a lot of schooling and a lot of school loans and things like that. And that's all great. And that can actually really contribute to what I do. But in addition, they never really shared their gifts and talents spiritually with other people. And I feel like it is a shame that because of a, highly religious, like zealot type environment, a lot of these people have been scared into silence, and it's sort of like they're in their psychic closet and they don't want anybody to know about them because they're afraid of what they may think. And in the meantime, they're doing something like working in the dental field, or they're doing something like they're a nurse or a doctor, or which if you can imagine, if they did what their true calling was, would be extremely advanced with those degrees and with those other life science or other career paths to aid in what they're doing. So I guess this is just my message to like urge other people and to invite you to really look into, even if you're not willing to go totally public with your gifts, to basically just share it with family, friends. And I have to tell you that most people are so open to this because inherently we all know it's a thing. And the pressure from basically people who want money for a church, they'll like shame you into this, and they'll try to brainwash other people into thinking it's not real. Meanwhile, a ton of the people in their congregation are practicing this on a daily basis to help others or to use it in their daily lives. And people just don't talk about it. So anytime you're shamed for something that's natural, normal, or you're called evil for something where you were just born that way, or it's actually an attribute or gift, that's what people do when they are threatened, or they might be worried that they can be found out. So the people who hide the most are the most afraid of a psychic, because psychics know what others can't see. And just to put it in layman's terms, the most narcissistic people in society want you to believe that these inherent gifts that are given to people spiritually are evil, or they are bad, or they will harm you. That said, there are those who have these inherent gifts that use them for the wrong purposes. And so that's where personal responsibility comes into play, which is really all any of us have. So I could even tell you that, psychics and readers are great and you should go find one. But in the meantime, I'm not going to say you're not going to run into some people who are very toxic or loose about what they say. And that's a balance that the person who wants a reading has to kind of find within their own environment and their own, just whatever they have in their society, like whatever they have in their immediate area. So it could be even that, you call to another state to get a phone reading or a video reading with a reader that you like. I know that I only do my readings out of love and out of the light and the divine. Some people say they do readings out of love and light and the divine, but at the same time, they are disclosing things to you that are personally harmful, or they do not deliver the messages correctly, or they are not sensitive to common courtesy or basic psychology. Basic psychology is really all that's needed to know exactly how to deliver a message and what to say when you do get something, or if you should say anything at all. So, I mean, I always, tell people that I will tell you what spirit tells me, and I will ask their permission before I say anything that may be potentially like difficult to hear. But what I've found is that even if I get a message that could be potentially difficult for somebody to hear, it always leads to the right thing. And I'd really love for you to check out my TikTok, my TikTok page because I've got a pretty good following on there, and I think that people are really enjoying the content, and I really enjoy making it. So you can find me on there at Anna O Intuitive. So you just like the little at sign and then Anna O Intuitive. And I think that a lot of that is just education. The great thing about TikTok is you can like deliver some education real quick. It's some snippets of videos, just explaining, how do you know if you are a psychic? How do you know if your skill set or your talents or gifts are different? And how do you identify that? So I go into some free content there. A lot of other people pay for these classes where they take classes to figure out what their skill set is, what their extrasensory abilities might be, and how to build on them. But I'm giving you the content for free on TikTok. And so that's my offering to you, especially for listening to my show today. And tell everybody, tell as many people as you can, because I really send the message that it's not bad. It's all good. So I'm going to do a reading on Carla from New Orleans. Carla, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you loud and clear. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good. I would love to do a reading for you today. I'm excited, and I'm glad that you got through on the phone line. Do you have a specific question for me today that you'd like me to answer, or a specific topic?
Well, my husband passed away 3 months ago, and I just would like a reading. If you have any connection or messages for me from him.
Sure. Yeah. This morning, I actually felt a presence, and I wasn't quite sure who it was, but these things work out in divine timing. And I knew it was a male, but I wasn't sure why he was there. And I think he's been waiting for you, and I think that he knew that this was all going to happen. That's why it's so fun to do these, because it all works together so beautifully and in perfect timing.
Wow.
And the interesting thing is that first I'm getting the message that you are definitely led by your heart. So to keep going with that, your husband is saying that you have a big heart. You've always been so loving and generous with love. And I think he's directing that back onto you right now, like to saying, draw that love inward, that right now your stores are low. And it's just a confirmation. I think that you're already kind of feeling this as it is, but he's just telling me that it's time to give yourself that generosity and that love that you're so used to giving to everybody else, and with your caretaking, basically, like how you take care of everyone else.
That is so true. I do. Yeah, that's about right. Wow.
And he's also telling me, and he's kind of saying this with a little bit of a laugh, because he's saying that he's bringing money up right now, and he's saying that to be careful of. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope I'm saying it the right way, but he's saying to be careful, with kind of a giggle, about shopping therapy. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
He's saying to reserve your money right now.
It's just a way to make myself feel better. Oh wow.
He's
Okay.
really fun. Yeah, he's just saying save your money right now, because he's like, you're grieving, honey. He's like calling you all these wonderful names, like you're grieving. I'm seeing like sweetheart, honey, and just all these wonderful names that he's referring to you with. And he's just saying right now you're grieving. You've got to watch your money, because you're going to need it. He just wants to take care of you.
Oh, that so much sounds like him. Oh, I love him. I miss him so much. Oh, wow. That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. He's very sweet. He seems like he's very protective of you, very caring, and he never would want to make you feel like you need help from him. But he just always, I think he enjoyed taking care of you, providing for you, making sure that he felt like a good provider. And
He was. Excellent. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
A very, very loving person, and he was so caring of his family and his friends and just everyone in general. He loved everyone. Very good soul, and that's why I miss him so much, because he was such a wonderful person. Yeah.
He misses you too. I think that I think most of his adjustment there right now is just him adjusting to not having you there, because I feel like you guys had such a long marriage. It was like, I'm feeling like it was a long union.
We were married for 40 years, and we knew each other 6 years prior, so it's probably 46 years that we've been knowing one another. Yes, very long.
So it's important for you to know that it's not like he went to the spirit world and he's just totally forgot about you at all. He's in this place where they're basically all of his guides, and there's like guides and spirits and like people who he knew that passed. And I'm getting kind of like a brother energy for him who's there with him. Does that make sense to you?
Oh my gosh, yes, his oldest brother passed away 8 years before he did. And his
Yeah.
parents and my parents are there. I'm wondering if he's connected with my family.
He is, and he's mostly being prepped by his brother right now, because he and his brother, they kind of had this agreement prior that when he passed, that his brother would be there waiting for him, and that he would kind of help him into the transition, because he is in his spirit body right now and kind of readjusting, and it's a process. So he's saying he's going to make sure he provides a place for you when it's your time.
Wow. Oh, wow.
He's going to
Oh,
keep
this is awesome. He came to me 3 weeks after his passing, and he used to call me Bae, BAE, just a term of endearment. And I heard him loud and clear saying, he said, "Hey, Bae," and that's all I've heard. And I've tried to meditate and try to reconnect. It just means so much to me to know that he's fine and he's with his brother, and he really adored his brother. His brother was like, his oldest brother was like a father to him, a second dad, I should say. He was a lot older, 15 years older, but very special relationship between them two. So, yeah, that's great.
So
Is there
wonderful.
anything else that you're hearing from him, or anything
Yeah.
else that I need to know?
He's saying just stay close to your friends. Like, I'm seeing one specific best friend. He's just saying he wants to see you recover as quickly as possible, and he knows that's the best way for you to do that.
And it is, and I have been doing that. I've been, he was very big on friends and relationships and nurturing those throughout life. And he taught me many life lessons. And I have reconnected with people that I did not expect. And I do have a best friend, and she and I have been seeing each other more lately. And so that's comforting to know, oh, wow, this is incredible. He got this targeted so well. I mean, can you tell him I love him? And I know or Spirit really with us every day by our side, guiding us?
They are, and right when you just remember that right when you think of him, he'll be there. So all you have to do is think of him and invite him into your electromagnetic field. That invites that energy into your space. And we have a lot of control over who comes into our space and who doesn't. So he is also saying, don't ever feel like you're inconveniencing, and he can hear you tell him that you love him. You can speak to him anytime you want. You can even say things to him in your mind. Even if, like, let's say, for some reason I'm seeing you at an airport, and you're kind of feeling kind of overwhelmed, you can say in your mind, say his name and say, look, if you could just kind of let me know you're with me right now, it would really help me. And he'll send you a sign, and he'll let you know he's right by you. You'll feel him somehow. He will communicate with you, and he wants you to know he's always at your aid. So there's always the possibility that he could be right by you or in your immediate environment if you are inviting him. But your electromagnetic field, our auras will basically communicate with our loved ones, so they can sense and know right away, because they have a spirit body now, which is a lot more sensitive than our physical bodies. So they know right away if you need help, if you need them, if you miss them. He knows when you are feeling like you miss him and the grief. He understands the grief process, but he's also saying, give it another 6 months. When you have gone through that 6 months, he knows how deeply you're feeling this right now. And that's what makes him sad. He doesn't like to see you struggle this way. So he's saying, just wait another 6 months. You'll see a big difference in how you're feeling. You'll get kind of more used to this new way of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
That's true. Wow.
He's very he's very, very, I guess, support. He just, they know that we have to go through these things in our lifetime to learn and grow. And we want to go through the struggle so that we can get through it and grow and learn from it. But he does not like to see you uncomfortable or in pain. And
I know.
He's saying, honey, if you can get through this real quick, 6 months, just get through the stages, be aware of the stages of grief, and just go ahead and feel it. If you feel like you want to cry, finish that hard cry. The more that you stop yourself from completing that process, the longer it's going to take. So even if you're in public, you can excuse yourself to the restroom and just go cry and put your makeup back on or whatever, And I think he's just saying, like, go ahead and process it, because that's going to be better. And then you'll have more time to do other things, because he knows how hard it's for you. He gets it. He's he's saying, just go ahead and focus on the things that would annoy you, and be grateful for your freedom. He's trying to help you through it that way.
Yeah, I know. Tell him I've did a lot of stuff. The day after he died, our air conditioner compressor, or not the compressor, but the coils in the attic overflowed, and I had a puddle on the floor. But I felt his guidance, like telling me to give a AC guy a call. And I got the tree limb hanging over the house cut by someone. Just a lot of things around the home that. But you can tell him for me that I don't like being the guy. I hate taking out the trash, which he knew I did. And it's just weird, but I really do miss him. And he is a wonderful person. And that's why this loss is so traumatic, because we had a very magical relationship. And I was looking forward to, spending my retirement with him.
Yeah,
But
I understand.
there. I know. Yeah.
He's with you, and he's saying he's going to keep guiding you, and he's still going to be with you. It's just in a different way now, and that I can't even imagine, how you must feel. I all I know is that right now I feel such immense love for you from him.
Aw.
And
well, I've always heard that love deepens when we go, when we go in our new home. And, I feel the love is very strong. And I do communicate with him. I'll say, honey, I have to do this with the house, or I'm going here today, or, or whatever. Does he say anything about any other family member? Anyone else here on Earth? Does he say anything about that?
Right now it's kind of similar to when we grieve one person. We kind of feel like there's a tunnel vision on that person and missing them and readjusting to their loss. And to me, it feels right now, at least timing wise, with he and spirit, that for now he's really just focusing on you. And the reason why he's focusing on you is because he's, first of all, adjusting to being without you, because it's like you two were one union. And he's also saying,
we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like
very connected.
Yes, it's like him losing a half of himself and having to readjust. And he's saying he's mostly focused on you. And he's also saying he wants you to only focus on you right now. And that's what he meant at the beginning of the reading, like, focus all your love and care and caretaking on yourself right now so that you can get through this grief, because I think he just he wants to help you through this. He's there. So anytime you feel like you want to talk to him, you can. He can hear you. Just you thinking about him causes him to be there within a blink of an eye. And you can
Exactly.
ask for
That's
signs.
comforting.
There's a plant. I don't know if like maybe he planted certain plants in your yard or something like that, but he's referring to a plant that you'll kind of see it when you're missing him, and he'll kind of verify that he knows you're thinking about him and he's there with you. Does that ring a bell? There's like a plant or like maybe.
Well, it's our backyard. He was going to do, we were going to get some landscaping done. I don't know if there's really any particular plant, but
It might make sense later.
yeah,
It also reminds me of like a bird of paradise or something. You know how the leaves are really green and beautiful and kind of lush.
right. There is a
It,
plant in the backyard that is beautiful, but I don't even know the name of it. But you could be referring to that. Yeah.
sometimes they'll kind of focus on that plant, and it's interesting. It'll bloom at an off time, and that's how they're communicating with you. Or you'll just start seeing that plant everywhere you go at just the opportune time. They tend to really communicate that way because they now have a
Hmm.
spirit. It's harder, to communicate where our five senses can sense them. Now we kind of
Right.
have to practicing our extrasensory abilities to communicate with them. So he's actually telling me that you're going to grow significantly spiritually with your grieving and communicating with him, which is really an honestly wonderful way to grow it. I'm just so sorry for
Well,
your
it's
loss.
kind of happened already. I say that all the time. My spiritual growth has increased tenfold since he passed. Every time I lose someone, parents, aunts, uncle, whatever, it increases. Well, it really, really amps up the game after his passing. Because, yeah, he and I basically grew up together. Yeah, the separation is real. Yeah, half of my heart is with him. Let him know I love him so much. I really do. God, it's making my
And
day though.
it's just nice, I think, for me as a reader too, to know that he also misses you. Just because he's got this paradise where he is and he's preparing that for you doesn't mean that he's exempt of missing you and needing to adjust without you. I've not really seen that before in a reading. And this is why yours is so special and unique. And it's teaching me because I'm realizing that these bonds that we have with our significant other is so important, and it extends past that other to the other side and to the spirit world. And when you say that you're learning so much so exponentially right now, it makes perfect sense to me. And so I thank you also for teaching me through your experience. See, now it's going to be on the show and it's going to be on the radio in North Carolina, and other people will hear your experience. And I think it would surprise us sometimes how much our experiences teach other people. And so I just want to thank you for that. I think that it's amazing to see this, on my end and to learn from you. So I'm really grateful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I have to he played a lot of golf. He was a wonderful golfer. I'm just wondering if he keeps playing, if he's still playing. I hope he
Yes.
is. It
Yes,
was
he
one of
is.
his passions in life. Yeah.
He's with his brother for the most part right now. They go through stages there. He has definitely made contact with other people, but his brother is the main guide for him right now to transition. I do see how his brother is one of the favorite people, because you're saying he was like a father. He's like his mentor, and now he's his mentor on the other
He is.
side.
He always was here on earth. He asked his brother for all types of advice. His father was a wonderful person, but he really, really looked up to his oldest brother. He was awesome. Such a fabulous relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that life contract before this life, and I think it's interesting because I think your husband also knew that he was going to lose his brother shortly before he did. He kind of felt it deep down, but didn't want to look at that because it was too painful to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely had this life contract, and very, very close. They're very, very close. Their connection has gone back lifetimes, like in the pre-existence, like lifetimes. Like they're very close.
Wow.
And so it's good. I just
Oh,
want you to
God.
know he's happy. He's preparing a place for you. You guys are going to really have a lot of fun together when it's your time. I always try to remind people, especially when they're grieving, that if it's not your time, it's not your time yet. Grieving can be very, very difficult. You can feel very depressed, and just to keep inviting his energy into your space now so that you can continue to learn and grow rather than getting into a negative mind frame where you might feel too depressed. And if you do get too depressed, it's understandable. And there's also grief counselors available, that specialize in grief. And to remember that if you need, there's no shame in getting that. That's what they're there for. They're experienced and want to help.
Yeah. I'm very, very fortunate. I have a bereavement counselor that was working through the hospice that he was received care, and another individual through my church. So I have two bereavement counselors that I make contact with monthly or every 3 weeks or so, and my family's been very supportive and friends. So it's just been one. I am blessed. So everything's there.
I would just urge you to
sound like him.
Yeah, that's him. And I just want to let you know that he's urging you to continue to meet with the counselors, the bereavement counselor, and your friends and family, and continue, even if that day you don't really feel like going out, to go ahead and just make yourself do it, and you'll be glad you did. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time now.
Yeah, he would be proud of me. I'll put one foot in front of the other every day and get out of the house. I do something good every day.
He's very proud of you. And I'm sorry I have to end because I'm running out of time. I've got 1 minute left, but I wish you the best. And I'm so glad we made contact today. You're wonderful, and just keep going. I know that you can get through this.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for calling in. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you. So that's my time for today. I'm so glad I made contact with her and I was able to connect her with her husband. It's good to let people know that they can talk to their loved ones anytime they want and they hear them, and they will let them know they hear them. So that's my time for today. And I just love you so much. And I'm so glad that I could make contact with you today too. Please listen to these readings and this contact between heaven and earth, and take from it what you can to benefit your own life. I know I do, and I know I learn more every day, every time I do a reading. So have a great week, and I'll be here again next Tuesday. See you soon.